right, boys, bring it in.
So, Coach, the Rangers are playing with a shortened bench, right? We talked about this. Schneider's not playing. Lindgren's is hurt, right? They Keandre Miller gets into a scuffle behind the net, and he claims it was accidental that he spit on Doughty, but he spits right in his face while looking at him. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say whether it was accidental or not. Heat of the moment. I like Miller. I think he's a good kid. I don't think he has a bad reputation or anything. But just from a coaching perspective, your player does this. He then gets ejected from the game, and now you're down to 4D. You're already down to 5D. You're playing like you said, a team with cup aspirations, or at least an aspirations to make a run here, and a good team. Like, what do you do there?
I don't. That's a frustrating point. I mean, what do you ask me? What do you do? You're saying, do we play Schneider?
Well, number one, do you go with the 4D? That's Drury's orders, probably, right? That's probably not even Gallant's orders.
Probably had no choice, and Gallant knows the situation. I'm sure Drury said,
don't play him.
In order to get Kane, unless we're down to 2D or something, I'm sure there was a situation that they discussed. You have no choice, really. I mean, you're going to tap your guys on the shoulder or get in between peers and say, guys, we really need you to step it up. Don't take the chances. Don't overskate the puck. Lay back a little bit. Pick your spot, so on and so forth. And these guys are all professionals. They should know. I mean, you got a guy like Harper and Mikkola who are those type of players anyway, where they're not going to rush the puck. So it's more, Fox isn't going to overskate either. He's a smart player. And obviously they finished the game and they did really well with it.
Yeah, so then the other side of that is, how do you handle Keandre Miller, right? Miller got a 3-game suspension from the NHL, which is the precedent set by the Garnett Hathaway spitting incident a few years ago. So he gets 3 games. So now he's out of the lineup. Lindgren's hurt. Now you're playing with 5D. Is there any kind of, I don't know, punishment? I don't know what the right word is. Is there any repercussions for Miller if you're the coach?
I don't think so. I mean, they know they have a hands-on situation with his attitude and his demeanor. I don't think he's that type of player. I'm a little shocked by him when I saw the replay. I forget where I heard that he said it was in a Doughty kind of skated away. I think Eddie had the angle of another play where he kind of like turned his back and then he turned away from him and then he came back in the spitting motion. Kind of like on Seinfeld with the second spitter. But like Rupper said, you still got to be responsible if you're in a group of players. You can't just be spitting. There was 4 or 5 guys in that scrum, standing there, and you just don't spit. I mean, it's not allowed. Maybe it was just a nervous reaction. I don't know. I didn't. We'd have to hear the whole situation. I mean, Gallant was like motioning his hand like Doughty was mouthing off, and then turned back and started chat. I don't know. We don't really know what went on. They're not going to tell us everything, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was definitely like a reflex almost. Right. I think you are right. I don't think he intentionally meant to spit directly on him. I think he was.
I mean, he looked right at him. I don't know. I watched the replay a bunch of times, but I think if I'm the coach, it's probably different than if you're the coach. Probably different than if Gallant's the coach. So I was more curious what you would do if you were Gallant, not what Gallant would do.
I mean, what I would do, like I said, he doesn't have a past history of doing this kind of stuff. He's got no history in college of doing it. I think it was just a reaction that happened, a nervous thing that happened in that situation. It happened, and he's going to move on with it. I'm sure they talked to him, and Keandre had a face-to-face meeting with Doughty after the game and apologized. He was happy.
Yep.
Met with him, and I think it's going to be over. I don't think that's him. I hope it's not him. I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I don't think that's him either. I agree, and I think I think you got to have a stern talk with him though, right? And be like, dude,
I'm sure
you got to have game awareness and situational awareness. Like, you cannot make that kind of mistake when we're playing short. Yeah, you shouldn't do it ever. But especially like now, we're playing short for 4 games. We're trying to make the playoffs. We're trying to catch New Jersey and get home ice advantage. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that. I think it was a pretty big mistake by Miller. I don't think he's the type of person that would spit on somebody. So, yeah, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt on that. By all accounts, he's a great kid.
Big learning experience. I doubt he ever does that again in his career. Puts his team in a vulnerable position like that.
Well, I sure as hell hope not. I mean, if spitting instances, unless you're Keith Jones or Esa Tikkanen, I think are probably limited to one per career, spitting on a player. But anyway, all right. So that's Coach's Corner with Coach Ed. Let's shift over to